My name is Ace. I am a first-year master's student in educational leadership and policy analysis here at UW-Madison. I am masculine-centered, genderqueer person of color, and I prefer masculine to gender-neutral pronouns. I came to UW in 2009. I am a policy scholar from Chicago. In undergrad, I think it had a lot of different factors. Um, I outreached and I sought out communities that I felt a part of that would support me in my identities that I was developing and that I also held very close to me at the time. And so because of those and all the extracurriculars that I was involved in, I felt supported. I felt like I had a base of people that I can go to talk about things. And I joined a sorority in my sophomore year, and that really gave me a basis of empowerment. It helped me become more proud of myself and who I am, to embrace my different identities and their intersectionalities. It gave me people, honestly, that I never knew existed that can support me in unconditional ways that I've never been supported before. And I think that was probably the biggest turning point in my undergraduate career, because then I didn't have a sense of shame, a feeling of loneliness. So when I first joined in 2010, I was still going with feminine pronouns. And when joining, I asked, do I have to live up to certain expectations of what it means to be a woman, things of that nature, and they was just like, no, be who you are. We accept you for who you are. We love you for who you are, and that I think was something that I appreciated the most, because my gender was something that I've always been battling with and going back and forth with. I would say towards my last 2 years of undergrad, I determined that no, I don't just want any pronouns. I want just gender neutral pronouns. And that started with my sorority. When I told them, they were very accepting. They were willing to change the bylaws, to change the language in the bylaws. And so instead of chairwoman, it was chairwoman with the Y, to be more inclusive of different different gender identities. The first people that I told were my sorority sisters, that I just came from a meeting, I got improved to start, hormonal therapy, so now I just got to go see my doctor and see what papers I need to sign, and we can start. And it was just nothing but congratulations and all positive vibes, and that's something that I really appreciate, because I feel like that's something that may not be universal. Because I know, especially in the Greek world, where everything is very heteronormative, everything is very you're a man, a woman, to have a group of people who were cisgendered, who were heterosexual. Some people, they're along the spectrum, but just to have that support from a group that I looked up to so much, that, I've had the opportunity of leading for a few years, to accept me and my journey and to offer assistance and to be there, was absolutely phenomenal. On the other side of things, campus was very isolating. Sometimes I'd be the only person of color in 200-300 person lecture, only person of color in discussion, and sometimes those can be very frustrating, because sometimes you bring up a point about intersectionalities or bringing different identities into the room that the majority does not possess, and your point just gets skipped over. Or you are called a racist name, or people say something very ignorant and you call it out, and you're the one to get reprimanded by the professor or by the TA instead of the person that actually did the action. And so I think that a lot of the in-classroom experiences that I've had has always been negative, unless I've had somebody that I knew in the classroom with me, because then I felt a little bit more supported, a bit better, a bit more comfortable being in that space that I felt like I didn't have a place in. I mean, as I grew older and I grew more into my voice, I demanded the respect that I think that I deserved in the classroom instead of being more submissive and more passive when it comes to comments. So if somebody said something very ignorant, I was not afraid to call them out. If I felt like somebody just needed to open their mind to the discussion, even if they didn't agree with it, that was something that I definitely made a point to say. I'm somebody that likes to meet people where they are, to talk to them and to understand, just to help shed a light on a different point of view that they may not have had. I want them to understand that we are doing good things and we're just like them. We're still trying to just figure ourselves out and really just trying to do good. That we, aren't these bad stereotypes. That as I feel like not just as a state but as a nation, we still have a lot of room to improve when it comes to the quality of life for not just cisgender people but for all people, no matter like what part of the spectrum that you may fall on.